there's more arena football here on TNN. See if the Milwaukee Mustangs can slow down the San Jose SaberCats. A critical game for San Jose. Don't miss the hard hits in the Bradley Center in Milwaukee. I'll be there along with Ed Cunningham and Jill Arrington Thursday night, 8 o'clock Eastern and Pacific, right here on TNN Sports. We'll see you Thursday from Milwaukee. Here in Pocono, Pennsylvania, Tony Stewart taking the lead at lap 54. We're now at lap 59 as we watch him work himself through the corners now and onto the straightaway.
Yeah, and if you're trying to find the flaw in that car, you can't do it because it's doing everything right at the moment. But you have to remember something else. Everybody's going to make adjustments every time they stop. And some of the cars that are back in the field right now, they'll make adjustments, and they'll be running like Tony Stewart before the race is over.
Now, everybody has taken the same basic approach there through turn 2. Now they're into the flat turn 3, and they're swinging through that turn where the RPMs drop down onto the main straightaway. But you were telling me during the commercial break, buddy, he said, watch what he's doing here. This is where he makes a bit of a different move than the other guys.
Okay, from the helicopter cam here, as he goes down in the corner, a very late apex. And when I say that, I mean he's going way, way wide and then cutting straight down to the bottom of the racetrack, whereas other people go in and go up the racetrack. He's making a square corner. He's going in like so and going across.
And that is saving him distance.
Well, and it also takes a lot of pressure off the right front tire because he's making his turn back on the straightaway and turning right across the racetrack, and I think right now it's working for him.
Another guy who is doing something that's working is Dale Earnhardt. There he is in the number 3. He's about to catch Bill Elliott for 11th spot now on the racetrack. And look at that, since the restart after that Michael Waltrip caution, Dale's picked up 9 spots. Good to see Robert Presley moving up again. Do you realize that if it weren't for about, maybe 8 minutes on the clock last week, Robert Presley would have been a winner in NASCAR Winston Cup?
Yeah, and Ryan Pemberton has just went to work with him this year, and he's made a real difference there. And I'm sure that Robin and he, being brothers, they talk a lot about what good setups they have under the cars. And right now, he's turned Robert Presley's season around. They're a contender.
That's for 6th place on the screen. 99, Jeff Burton. 28, Ricky Rudd. There again, the battle for 11th and 12th. Now back to the other battle, trying to keep you abreast of them all. And Ward Burton's closing in too from that rear flank. He's right behind the 28. If you're a Stacy Compton fan, they've gotten their problems fixed with the transmission. He is coming back onto the track 20 laps down. There is Compton in the Kodiak Ford. So Stacy is back, meaning only Michael Waltrip is done for the day, gone with engine failure, and he will not be returning.
Just in front of these guys, John Andretti is in 4th there in the 43. These guys are picking it up, and as you said, Ward Burton has turned it up a notch too in the Pontiac. He's now starting to move up into the field.
He has not run well here at Pocono, Ward Burton, though the 43 car certainly has over the years. Ward getting a little antsy.
He won't get that antsy going into this corner. No. Right around the bottom's the way to get through there, and then you let it sweep out right out against the wall when you have the car set up properly.
You realize that Ward has completed more laps this year than any other driver and has only 1 finish all season out of the top 20, which is the best of all the competitors in NASCAR Winston Cup racing. Talked about Ward Burton and the number 22 machine. And
it's good to see Bill Davis, the car owner, have that kind of luck this year because he has really soldiered along, and now next year they're going to Dodge. So they want to do well this year and really set this team up for the coming year.
We're watching Mike Skinner. He has now fallen nearly 2 seconds behind race leader Tony Stewart. Dick?
Well, the conversation between Skinner and his crew chief is that they've got a vibration in that car. It may be a loose wheel. We saw that 3 times last weekend at Michigan. Loose wheels. Drivers had to come in under green and tighten them up. So far, they're not talking about that, but Skinner with a vibration. Vibrations don't go away.
No, and what it'll do is eventually break the studs off, or either the wheel or wobble. It starts out with a hole like this, and when it starts vibrating, it elongate like so, and it starts vibrating, and pretty soon you have a real problem.
But of course, you want to stay out there and hopefully catch a caution flag and make the change under caution. But you don't want to be the caution flag. We'll find out more about Skinner's problems when we come back. For the Home Depot racing team. Welcome back, everybody. Hope to get if you got a computer nearby, if the boss isn't looking and you're at work, whatever it might be, check out NASCAR Online. All the latest updated news from right here at the racetrack. Scoring as it happens. NASCAR.com, your 24-hour NASCAR Garage Pass. There's 8th place coming at your living room. Rudd, Ward Burton, Jeremy Mayfield, Jeff Burton. Let's not forget Terry Labonte there in the number 5. Everybody has a lane they like to use here. Yes. I guess it was here, was it not, when the late Neil Bonnet, for that very first time, started doing that snake routine down the front straightaway, and I remember...
I would figure you would remember that. He beat me that day. That
Did
was
he really?
who he put it on, yes.
It's funny, you don't ever remember who finished second that day. But wasn't it here? It was the first time we'd ever really seen that.
I would have thought you'd have had some practice at that.
Good answer. Ricky Rudd leading that pack of traffic. He's in 6th now. John Andretti right behind him. That 43 car has always run well on flat tracks. Doesn't matter who's driving it. Even in Richard Petty's day, when they ran here, they ran Trenton, which was a flat track. Of course, at the road courses, Riverside, a flat track. He was always great there. Always, Petty Enterprises, they put out some great cars everywhere, but always you could count on them for the flat tracks.
Yes, I got to test in Richard's car a few times when I was teammate with him, and he was one of the first drivers that ever really tried real soft suspension and small sway bars and different things. And he and Dale Inman worked so well together, Dale Inman being his crew chief, that they hit on a combination, and about halfway, he would just eat you alive on the racetrack. I mean, just pass you and go away. And I never could figure it out, and all of a sudden I got to test in that car, and I went, wow, if I can do this, I could start winning races too. And it helped me just to do a test in his car.
Speaking of testing, are you still staying up here to test tomorrow?
Yeah, Ryan Newman and I will be up here tomorrow going through a test program. He's going to run the ARCA race in the 2nd race up here this year.
A lot of folks don't know Ryan Newman, but those who follow USAC racing, sprints and so on know him very well.
If they get in the Silver Crown car, they'll find out who he is pretty quick. He's a very talented young man. And anytime Roger Penske gives a guy a call, he has talent. So it's just a matter of getting him used to the racetracks and the cars.
There's Johnny Benson still running 3rd. Remember, he took 2 tires when everybody pitted at lap 37. And Glenn, he's hanging right there.
Yeah, I've been very impressed with his lap times. I've been watching for the last 10 or 15 laps. He right now was the quickest car on the racetrack. He ran a 54.822. The rest of the cars are in the high 54s or low 55-second bracket. So the 2 tires certainly didn't slow him down. One other thing about Johnny, he had an ear infection earlier this week. So when everybody got ready to come up to Pocono, his doctor told him, absolutely no way do you get on an airplane. You cannot fly at high altitude. Most airplanes are not going to fly at low altitude. So Johnny rode up here in